Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Adorned with Dignity. Today we are on day 19, and as I mentioned in day 18, I'm actually going to air the original broadcast from the first year that it was being taught. Day 19 has really become the day that I think changed, the meaning of why I was doing this, not only for myself, but for everyone who was listening, why they were learning. And it is a day that's probably responsible for bringing about the most change, especially with women who were on the fence about taking on this mitzvah. And I think they had felt in that commentary of today's reading that they felt that there was a camaraderie and that there was a connection, and it just solidified, all of their personal experience. And I think, again, it's probably, I get more feedback from women about day 19, the commentary of it. And, as painful as it was to do that day, I feel that it has brought the most good. And it's certainly, I'm very honored to be in any way, shape, or form, helping in a way to help women connect with this mitzvah, and that for them to understand that I truly get how difficult it is and the peer pressure. And I'm really hoping that together we can change that narrative and we can be more supportive to one another. But here it is day 19. Get your Kleenex out, because every time I hear it, I still cry. But here it is. I send it to you with all my love, and know that everything that HaShem does is for good. And this is no different. This came only for good. And here it is, the infamous day 19. Hi, everyone. We are reading Adorned with Dignity. We are on day 19. Before we start with all of that, I want to just say that, the reading of this book has apparently caused some, I don't want to say controversy, I don't want to say machloket. It caused a reaction. And I'm not going to cry. I'm going to stay strong. This is a very tough subject for a lot of people. And I myself, when after my conversion, I went straight to the tichel. And the reason why it was easy for me to do it is because in leaving Christianity, I already went to the rodeo with the idea of doing something because everyone else was doing it. I had left my belief in JC, despite the fact that a lot of people say, like, so many people can't be wrong. But I've already learned through that experience that they were wrong. And this, this reading of the book is not to say that I think one way is wrong as opposed to the other. Has v'shalom. That's not what I'm trying to come across with this book. With this book, I went straight to the tichel. And I wanted to learn more about why I'm covering. So when I got involved with Rosh Pina, which is a group out of Muncie, I was so pleased with the way that they were bringing information to women in a non-judgmental and a very safe environment, if you would. And, immediately they asked me to get involved, which of course I thought was just such a great thing to do. It was just such a great, what a mitzvah, because this is an issue that every single Jewish woman is suffering with. And if I can compare it to anything in my past experience, I would say that this was very much like, the pro-life, pro-choice fight. And apparently, I think being someone who did not grow up in Judaism, you're kind of naive and oblivious to how big of a controversy this is, which really it shouldn't be. And again, and anyone who's listening to this, who's heard my previous readings of this book, or anyone who's listened to any of my broadcasts, Chas v'shalom, that anyone should think that I'm coming across as judging. I personally don't judge anyone, and I know what it is to come from a place of negative and to want to just to learn and grow. Anyone who knows me knows that I am not a person who likes to have the standard moved to tailor fit me. I like the standard to stay where it is, and I like to build myself up to go to that standard. And I remember the first time that any rabbi ever gave any words about me was some years ago. And he said this story of a man who took his son on a trip, and they went to London to go see Big Ben. And the son said to the father, why is it that Big Ben has been made so high up and everyone has to look up to see what time it is? Wouldn't it be easier just to have Big Ben right at eye level? And the father said to the son, Big Ben is moved up so high because everyone has to look up to set their watch according to Big Ben. If Big Ben was at eye level, then everybody would be moving the time of Big Ben to fit the time of their watch. And I thought, what a tremendous statement that a rabbi is saying about myself. That he said that I was the type of person that looks up. And ironically, it was my birthday, and the parsha was Naso, which also means look up. And I feel like at this moment, at this very moment, those words have never been more true than this moment. So I want to thank Danielle for really her encouragement today and just helping me to get it together, if you will. It's been a very emotional time. So this is for Danielle Bas Sarah. And I pray that her mother's neshama, who had a yard tie last week, that she should get an aliyah. And for anyone that's listening or daring to go on this journey, know that at least there's a lot of people here for you. There's a lot of people here for you. Know that I'm here for you too, and that I get it. So anywho, I'm really, really sorry to have gone on that tangent. And it was a 5-minute tangent, so I'm really, really sorry. Because today's lesson is a little bit long, so I really apologize. And I just thank you guys for just hanging in there. So today's entitled Circumventing the Goal of the Mitzvah. We learned that the Torah requires a woman to cover her hair in public, since her hair is her main source of beauty. Some shaitels defeat the purpose of this mitzvah. A shaitel that looks like real hair. A shaitel that looks just like hair is not detectable from a short distance, contradicts the goal of the mitzvah. Rabbeinu in the year 5750 proclaimed, the shaitel, which is intended as a covering for the hair, can only be considered as such when it can be recognized as the shaitel. If it looks exactly like natural hair, it cannot be considered to screen off what is supposed to be hidden. By wearing such a shaitel, the wearer ensnares those who see her in a very serious isurim. Hagayon harav Yosef Shalom Elishev Shlita Hagayon harav Shlomo Zalman Arabach Shlita Hagayon harav Shmuel Halevi Wasner Shlita and Hagayon harav Nisam Karletz Shlita. Harav Shlomo Zalman Arabach Shlita was pained by the fact that some women extended so much effort that their wigs should look just like hair, as repeated by Harav Dan Siegel Shlita. Imagine if your son or brother would come home one day wearing a kippah made of hair, which camouflaged the fact that his head was covered. How would you react? You would be understandably horrified. Surely you would think to yourself, how foolish. How could he think he's actually covering his head by wearing such a ridiculous head covering? Indeed, the mitzvah of covering the hair of a married woman is far more essential than for a man to cover his head. Let us not fool ourselves into thinking that by wearing a natural-looking shaitel, we are fulfilling the commandment, or the mitzvah, of covering the hair. The same characteristics as hair. Even if a shaitel is discernible as a wig, if it has the same attraction to hair and beautifies a woman like hair does, or more, then it circumvents the basic foundation of the mitzvah. We learn from the Gemara in Nazir that a sheitel can have the same attraction as hair, even to a husband who knows clearly that is a wig. How much more does this apply to other men who don't know the women? It should be noted that sheitels during the time of the Gemara did not even come close to the high quality and natural look of today's sheitels, and even those wigs served the same purpose as hair. Gedolim in our times have issued similar statements about the equivalence of hair and sheitels. Harav Yosef Shlomo Elishav Slita exclaimed, "How can we rectify the tragedy of today's sheitel? They look just like hair. Surely those who wear such wigs are not aware of the harm they are causing and the stumbling blocks they are creating for the public." A sheitel can be even more attractive than hair. It may be both astounding and alarming to note that a sheitel can very often be more attractive than hair, since it is so well made that it is more becoming, more flowing, thicker, and prettier than hair. Indeed, we see openly in most cases that after a girl gets married, her wig looks much more beautiful than her hair. Also, a woman invests more time and effort at the sheitel stylist to ensure that her sheitel looks beautiful, more than she exerted in beautifying her own hair on a daily basis. As one woman who upgraded her level of covering her head attested, "It felt so strange that other men were seeing me with a sheitel that looked even nicer than my hair." Indeed, the Pasuk Hador Harav Shmuel Wasner stated, "The wig can incite the Yetzer Hara of a man even more than natural hair." A man recently admitted to his wife that he is more disturbed by the Hamisha women in his office who wear wigs than the non-frum women who don't cover their hair. Even the secular world finds the sheitel more alluring than hair. The following question was sent to a publication by a non-religious woman. "I am curious to learn more about your rules regarding modesty. Specifically, I was wondering about the reasons that Jewish women wear wigs. Hair is obviously beautiful, and Orthodox Jewish women only show their beauty to their husbands. But wigs can be very beautiful, with nice hairstyles and colors, so it seems like that would be showing off more beauty. Please explain this to me, as I like learning about other cultures and religions." Mrs. H related the following hair-raising episode. "My Polish cleaning lady confided in me that her husband was displeased with her. He questioned her why she doesn't have beautiful hair like the Jewish women. Indeed, he was shocked when she revealed to him that the women were actually wearing wigs. We see from here that if the sheitel looks more attractive than hair, it has the complete opposite effect of the purpose of the mitzvah of covering the hair. It draws attention to the woman instead of serving to divert attention from her. Indeed, Jewish women are pure. They are simply unaware that certain sheitels circumvent the goal of the mitzvah of covering the hair. When styling a sheitel, a kala and a woman should honestly ask herself, does this sheitel detract attention from me? Is it modest in the eyes of my dear father, who I want to please most?" This concludes day 19. I do again want to just thank you, and I apologize for the shakiness of my voice. I want to thank you once again, but again, that does conclude day 19. And thank you so much. HASHEM should bless you tremendously.